Good morning, you guys, and happy Saturday. It is Amanda and Barron with Kickin Cancer Cares on KSLM Radio, 104.3 FM and 1220 AM. Our sponsor for this first half is Oddmost Pizza, and on their website right now, for whatever reason, these wings are just literally screaming my name.
Those are calling your name today?
Yeah, so I think I'm going to go and get, I don't think I want to do the Hitch's hot sauce one. That sounds intimidating.
Hitch you can handle?
Yeah, that sounds intimidating, but I think I will do, I love buffalo.
Okay.
So I think I'm going to do some buffalo wings today for lunch on my way out of town.
Have you had their wings before?
Yes.
They got some meat on them.
Yes, they do. They're so juicy and so good. Oh my gosh, I love their wings. Yes, very meaty. And they've won Best of Willamette Valley for the best wings as well.
Yeah. So you have a pizza place
go check
for
them
wings.
out. Yes. So huge shout out to Mike from Oddmost Pizza. Thanks, Mike.
Well, as we continue moving through our survivor stories, I have a wonderful guest for you today.
Okay.
Nate Edwards, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Hey, Nate. How's it going?
Very good.
This will be a little different story for you than some of the others we've told in the past, but I think it's an important one that we tell. And now that we're officially into November.
Yes. Holy smokes. The
right?
time's flying.
Flies right by. Well, October is truly the month of bringing awareness to breast cancer. They do a wonderful job of all over with breast cancer awareness, but we're going to bring awareness to some other cancers here as we head into November.
Perfect.
Last week was a really interesting conversation with Ashley.
Yes, it was. It was fun to learn about all the benefits of mushrooms and going out and foraging for them. And so I always thought when people went and did that they would cook them up and bake with them. But you lose a lot of their benefits and values that way. And so I think you dehydrated them and then grind them up and put them in capsule form like that. So really cool. A lot of good information.
Well, and I would encourage the listeners, if you didn't get a chance to hear that, go to YouTube. Go to our YouTube channel. It's Kickin Cancer Productions, because in amongst that conversation, there's some wonderful slides that actually add to that as we're talking about the mushrooms and the value of the mushrooms.
Yes.
And we talk about psilocybins too.
Yes, we did.
Which psilocybins can catch a little bit of a negative connotation. Mm-hmm. So I thought Ash did a great job of talking about the positive sides.
Yes.
So that how it can help with depression.
Yeah.
Energy levels, all of the things that go with it.
Yep.
And there is at least one psilocybin location here in Salem area.
Yes, there is.
So, so mushrooms was our big topic for last week.
Yes, it was.
Well, we got this magazine, Nate, that we went through. It has these different foods that are cancer-fighting foods, disease-fighting foods. But this week's is avocados.
Okay.
Are you a fan?
You know, not really, but when we go to, my sister, every time we go to the Mexican restaurant, she gets a big side of guacamole.
Yeah.
And that is so stinking good with like all the salt and stuff added to it, of course. But just an avocado,
By itself?
I'll have to pass.
Not a fan of just straight avocados?
But I do like guacamole.
Well, there you go.
Weird, I know, but there it is.
Well, what it says is avocado's edge comes in part from its 14 grams of omega-3 fatty acids.
Wow, that's actually a lot.
It's a lot. These healthy fats help reduce cholesterol, control blood sugar. Avocado is also brimming with other beneficial nutrients, from vitamins such as C, folate, to phytonutrients like the antioxidants beta-carotene, both linked to cancer prevention and vision health.
Wow, I knew that avocado was good for you. I just didn't realize. Maybe I'll have to reconsider the avocado.
Well, they say it is the good fat. The good fat that's out there.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it is.
So,
is it okay to pair it with tortilla chips?
I definitely. You got to pair the tortilla chips.
All right.
Well, I wanted to get into Nate's story, and really this starts about a little over 5.5 years ago, right?
Yeah. July of 2020.
So July of 2020, you had just turned 34, and we've talked with some other people that are breast cancer survivors that caught things early, that something just didn't seem right. So do you want to kind of describe what was going on back then?
Yeah, so I mean, it's just kind of as a men's health thing is you check your testicle often to see if there's anything different. So the only reason why I kind of knew was I had two friends, Jacob Garcia and Alan Witt, two of my really good friends. One was actually a student of mine when I taught robotics, and the other one was my boss at Staples. So they both had testicular cancer at different times in their life. because it can really hit you at any age. It's really more common in younger people. 18 to 35 is really the age range that they tell you. And I was 34, so.
So you were right there, that range.
Yep. So Alan was 18 when he got his, and Jacob was, and he's 2 years older than me. So it's been a long time for him. And then Jacob was just kind of after high school, not too long after that. But Jacob was really open with his story. He posted on Facebook about like what he found and his kind of story, and so his reminder of that kind of like set me off of being like, hey, there's something here. So I didn't have a primary.
Something just didn't seem right.
Yeah, and so I didn't have a primary care physician. I wasn't taking care of myself very well, so I wasn't
typical man.
Yeah. When you switch insurance jobs, all that kind of stuff, you kind of take a while to get back into anything. Yeah. And so I had switched jobs in 2016. They changed insurance a couple of times, and so I was like, I'll find somebody when I find somebody. But then
just kind of spurred you to do it quicker.
Yeah, so I found the first PCP that was in my network of my insurance that I could find that could get me in soon. It only was 2 weeks before I got there, and of course, sometimes you just have to fight for yourself. So
right.
They said it's probably nothing. We're still do blood work of just like a regular blood work, and then we're doing ultrasound. The ultrasound happened on August 24th of 2020, and so just 25 days after finding it. On the ultrasound, it showed left testicle had the lesions. And
were they really obvious? Was it, as they looked at the ultrasound, was it very obvious there was a problem there?
Yeah, I think so. So whenever you have the second person come into an ultrasound, that's when you know.
Yeah.
Kind of
like,
like,
okay.
If there's a second opinion coming in, there's going to be an issue.
Yeah, and so like it was kind of a weird day. I was like helping my dad with his deck. And I was like, hey, I have to leave to go take care of a doctor thing, watch my kid. Why are you doing it?
Off, right?
Can
I ask what your symptoms were? Like, what made you, when you said that something wasn't right, what symptoms were you having?
There wasn't really a lot of symptoms back then. That's what was weird is like I've always had this like pain in my upper right quadrant of my chest, and so that combined with the lump that I kind of found in the testicle was like, hey, I need to go do something. I've been trying to find the pain thing for a while, and I was like, well, two birds, one stone, kind of like get everything figured out.
So you actually felt a lump, like something.
Yeah, it was kind of harder, and but when the doctor did the examination, he was like, I don't, it's probably a cyst or something. Usually cysts, I think, are a little bit softer than the actual lump that you get, but it's really hard to tell because like that was on my left side. My right side had a hydrocele and a cyst.
What's a hydrocele?
So a hydrocele is like a fluid buildup around the testicle. It's non-cancerous. I still have it. I'm dealing with a lot of pain from it actually as we speak. Still trying to get answers on that, but
it's fluid buildup.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, right around the testicle, and so it can really it can be more painful. So a lot of times with testicular cancer, it's not painful.
Oh, okay.
So even if you feel the lump, it can be painless. It can be painful. There's a lot of guys that I've met that since kind of advocating that have felt pain or had giant basketball size kind of things going.
Swelling up.
Yeah, and so and I'm still trying to figure out the link to exercise, because a lot of these guys that have had testicular cancer are pretty active. And a lot of them are doing cycling.
Cycling?
Yeah. Lance Armstrong is the obvious case, right?
Okay.
He's probably one of the most recognizable names with this type of cancers.
Yeah.
Lance Armstrong.
Yeah. So he had the exact same type that I had. embryonic carcinoma, which is a really hard term to remember, but basically it's the fastest spreading type, I think.
Oh, wow,
there
yeah.
might be some others that are, on edge cases, but it's not very common, and it's the same type that he had stage. He calls it stage 4, but there's no stage 4 in testicular cancer. I found out.
Really?
So there's no stages with this type of cancer.
Well, there's stages, but they're different. So
Okay.
I had stage 1B, which means I had vascular invasion of beyond my testicle. So
it had left its point of origin.
Mhm.
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
but it didn't make it to the next point, so it didn't get to stage 2.
It was en route,
Yeah.
if you will.
yeah. So catching it early is the key.
Right.
That's the key to a lot of cancers, but especially one that's gonna be fast spreading, and so that's the fastest spreading one is that, and so in Lance Armstrong's case, it went through his lungs and into his brain.
Oh, wow.
And so he had a really low chance of survival, but like I had a high chance of survival, and I'm here. So
Yeah. So you made it.
I made it. So, but you can kind of get a feel for like how fast it can go, and he felt a lump, and that's where the origin was, but then it was so fast that it spread to his brain, and so as soon as I heard that I had the same type, I spiral,
Yeah.
you're like, what is gonna happen to me?
So interesting you mentioned cycling. Just thinking about the bicycle seat itself.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any common link that you have seen with cyclists? You mentioned exercise. Is this something that is common at all with cyclists? Or do you know?
And that's what I want to kind of find out, is because so at the Testicular Cancer Foundation, Connor is the chief mission officer. He actually was on Amazing Race with his father and actually won it at one point. But he was a professional cyclist before, and he had testicular cancer before he went on Amazing Race. He was younger, I think 18 or something like that, on the younger side. But he's a big big guy in that area. And then while I was at the conference in April this last year, I heard from a couple of other guys. They found it during cycling, and it could be, there could not be a link at all, but like I'm like, this is so interesting, and maybe you kind of notice it more because you're on the seat, and,
Right.
Sure.
and it's just uncomfortable. Nobody wants to sit on a bicycle seat for that long. So.
Well, and these guys are doing competitive bicycling,
Yeah.
so they're doing long distances and hills, and
Yeah.
it's a whole different ball game. It's not just your casual bike ride through the countryside.
Right, right.
And I can't say that I'm a huge athlete, but I did do a couple triathlons. So I've done a little bit of cycling, but I'm not very good. Actually,
Right.
Jacob, my buddy that had testicular cancer, loaned me his bike because I didn't have a bike for one of my triathlons. So he got it. He came through for me at the last minute, and that was all before testicular cancer hit me. So, but I have ran a half marathon since.
Okay.
So I'm still pretty. I try to stay active, but
Yeah.
it's definitely tough when you're in recovery and every pain that you come across. And
For
everything,
sure.
So.
Well, and I've heard a lot of people that have gone through cancer. Once they've gone through it, then all the little pains are like, is this something else? Is this another one? Am I feeling another symptom that's another cancer? And those pains begin to trigger concerns that maybe it's come back again.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. You got to listen to your body, and it's tough. Like I'm going through it right now. Working with doctors trying to figure out what's going on because I have more pain, and I have pain radiating into my back as well, and all the scans come clean, but there's
Something's going on. Yeah.
So continue fighting.
And the biggest trick is to figure out what those pains are.
Mhm.
What's causing those pains, and why are you still having those pains? A lot of people hear the No Shave November
Yes.
because November is Men's Health Awareness Month.
Right.
And so this is part of why I thought it'd be great to have Nate come on as we begin the month of November to Men's Health Awareness.
Yeah.
And
Is that where the No Shave November comes in?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that.
No. I think it's just a big campaign that goes on nationally to just bring awareness to men's health, and so they do the whole No Shave November.
Brilliant. Yeah.
Does that mean there's a beard coming in the mid-spring?
No.
Dang it.
Yeah, actually, my beard started as a No Shave November kind of thing because my buddy Alan was, I wanted a way to honor him, even though I was years after he got through his treatment. But
you decided to keep yours.
Yeah, I've kept it for a long time.
Nice.
Yeah, I once went from November to April, and that was a little bit too much. But
Overcommitted there, huh?
Yeah. But somehow my wife ended up meeting me during that time.
Oh.
And I sometimes we look back at that picture and be like, what were you thinking?
Well, I did No Shave November one time, and there's plenty of silver in the hair, and it comes silver in the beard, and it looks way too old. Way too old.
No.
No, so there will be no beard for me in November.
Okay. Okay.
But many guys do, and we would definitely encourage you to take advantage of November to look for those things that are going on.
Yeah.
So they did the ultrasound. They saw some stuff that was not okay. The lesions were not okay. What was the next step?
So that was August 24th was the ultrasound. Got the results a couple of days later. I can remember August 24th because that's my buddy Ken's birthday, and it was the one time that I didn't text him because I knew he moved to Minnesota back in 2010. We text all the time, and I text him every day, every time on his birthday, and I missed that year. And
because you were a little preoccupied.
I was a little preoccupied.
Yeah, your mind was elsewhere.
And I had been texting him about what I was seeing, and he actually had some friends that had gone through it, and he's like, it's going to be okay. You're going to get through, the surgery, and that will probably be it. So scheduled the surgery right away, September 1st, I believe, or right in that first couple days of September.
Okay.
Really quick surgery, outpatient actually. So you go in, you get everything. They take just a small incision, and then they pull it out and go send it off to pathology. So this was 2020, COVID,
you're in the heart of COVID at that point.
Yeah, heart of COVID.
Oh, yeah.
Wife couldn't come in to help, any appointments or anything like that. It was all on my own. My mom was able to go to a couple appointments here and there, but for the most part, it was like, hey, I have to remember everything that's going on, and that's a tough thing when you're going through. Like, they put some chicken scratch on your notes or whatever, but you're like, what does neoplasm of the testes mean, or what is non-seminoris, or what's embryonic,
Well, there's so many terms they're throwing
Yeah.
at you, and you're just no one there to be with you to advocate as you're going through that whole process.
Yeah.
That's when everybody turns to Google MD.
Yeah.
Yeah. We call her Dr. Google in the TCF Foundation that I'm a part of, and we tell people to stay away from that as much as possible because it's just so tough. I mean, I'm not following that right now as I'm going through this. I'm like, every time I get a test result, I'm like, hey, this was 0.1 too high. Like, what does that mean? Or,
It's a rabbit hole of anxiety.
Right.
Yeah.
Stay away.
Yeah.
Stay away from
You think
that's so true.
You think it will help,
so true.
but it doesn't.
Yeah.
So
Every time you start looking something up and you're getting more information, it's just a rabbit hole of anxiety. That's a great way to say that.
yeah.
It is, and then all of a sudden you're looking up words in that sentence and words in that one, trying to put it all together, and it's
And
like,
then
good
it's 3
Lord.
o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, I've got to go to
You
bed.
just made it worse and worse.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it was basically a simple of cut the problem out, and they caught it before any spreading had occurred. It sounds like.
Yeah, so they take a snippet of your cord as well to see if there's invasion, because when they take out the testicle, they remove all that, and so they tested that within about a week. They called and they're like, hey, it was cancer. you know. So they didn't just take it for no reason or whatever like that. And I was like, okay, I knew that.
So you were fairly certain it was cancer, but they wanted to go to the pathologist to verify it.
Confirm.
Yeah, and then they tell you like what type, and so that's when they throw out the embryonic carcinoma, or I'm probably saying it wrong, but so basically they say that, you Google that, and you're like, you know, that's the worst it can be. You know, I asked my buddies, like, is this the kind you had? No, you know. And so I was like, I don't know what to do. And then, so you think of September 2020 in this area of Salem, Staten, you know, this area.
Right.
Well, what's happening right then? The fires. Right?
Oh.
So I am in recovery. I can't move. I can't do anything like that. My sister lives out in Almsville, and I'm worried, you know, about, you know, does she need to come over to my house and stay with us, and is her house going to burn down and all that kind of.
Add one more piece of anxiety to your life.
Seriously.
Yeah.
September of 2020.
Yeah, I can't go outside because the smoke has come down my way, and it's so unhealthy for me to go anywhere. And thankfully, like, you know, because it was COVID, takeout was pretty prevalent then and such, and my work was very supportive of me by sending me the meals. So every night we got DoorDash.
Cool.
And so my wife didn't have to worry about cooking or anything
huge.
like that. And so shout out to my work that I still have. You know, like, they were very helpful in getting me in that recovery process. And then, you know, I'm back at work. I work at a computer, so I'm back at work in a few days. Like, they wanted me off for longer, but I'm like,
I need purpose.
I need a new normal, and at this point I think I'm done. Right? I'm like, okay, they pulled out the cancer, you know, maybe one round of chemo or something like that. I thought, you know, I'm good. Well, so October 1st comes around, and I go back to the urologist. Like, my CT scan was clean, you know, like, because they did a CT scan 2 weeks afterwards, and they're like, oh, you're good. So I went in thinking it's just going to be a routine checkup, be like, how are you doing? How's the scar? How's, you know, everything?
Right.
And he's like, well, you have two options. You can do...
Oh, so you go in for a checkup and they say you have two options.
Yes.
You're like,
that doesn't sound like a good way to start the conversation.
Goodness, how intimidating. You're like, wait a minute, I thought we did the option.
And because I thought we were in the clear, I didn't bring anybody with me. So I'm
big
there.
Conversation all by yourself.
Yeah, and they're like, okay, we're referring you to these 3 places. You can get opinions on chemo versus RPLND, which is it's a long term that I can't pronounce or anything like that, but basically it takes all the lymph nodes from your stomach.
Okay.
And so they can do that first, or they can do chemo and then that. But if you do the surgery after chemo, it's very, very hard because the chemo kills like everything.
Right.
You know, and so it's very hard for the doctor to even find you the right lymph nodes and to like remove them without, you know, extra pain. So one center says, you know, do chemo. One center says do the RPOND, and then I go up to OHSU and I meet with both, you know, a chemo doctor and a surgeon, and they both have, you know, the differing opinions, and so I was coin flip basically.
Literally.
I had no idea what the ramifications were of either, but I ended up selecting the surgery because I thought that I'm going to have the surgery either way, and so let's do it first before, you know.
And it sounds like you do the surgery first, it's easier for the doctors than if you do the surgery afterwards.
Yeah.
I think I probably would have picked the same thing with what you just broke down to me. Yeah, like, let's do surgery first so there's no complications and extra pain after the chemo kills everything. Like, let's... Yeah.
Yeah, and so I don't know what the surgery was or anything like that. You know, this took up the most of October, because October 1st was the date of the checkup. And then, so I ran around the entire state going all these different doctors, and then landed on the OHSU doing the surgery because they were going to do the surgery anyways. And so then I got scheduled for November 9th, 2020. And the RPRND was was pretty intense. So
November the 9th. That's almost exactly 5 years ago.
yeah,
Yeah.
coming up right here.
Wow.
Holy smokes.
Wow. Well, we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to tell some of your story when we come back from the break.
Yes, so huge shout out to Oddmo's Pizza, who is our sponsor for this first half. We would not be able to do this without him. Absolutely amazing. Their wings are phenomenal.
Yeah.
And their pizzas to die for. I love the Green Monster. So we will be right back in just a moment. Stay tuned.